All right, what's up, guys? It's Wire Guitars. This is my third time, I think actually my fourth time, trying to record a Corrupted Gauntlet guide for you. So I am a little bit excited for this, as you can imagine. But we're going to do it right this time, okay? So check this out. Corrupted Gauntlet is an activity that you can do in RuneScape that requires no input costs. So it's completely free. You never feel bad about doing this, even if you lose, because you aren't spending anything, which makes it, in my opinion, a very good dopamine activity compared to a lot of other activities that you can do in RuneScape. You do have some stat requirements. I would say 80s in specifically ranged and magic, and you could probably get away with as low as like 60 strength and attack. You just need these two stats a little bit at the beginning to kill some like complete trash mobs like rats and stuff. So definitely not as taxing a requirement stat-wise for your melee stats, but probably don't go in here unless you got 80 in magic and ranged. And I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you get your Cox Prayers, Rigor, and Augury. They will make this go by so much more smoothly. Without further ado, and I guess to not waste any much more of your time, I will mention the last requirement is that you do need Song of the Elves. Should probably just get your quest cape before you do anything else in this game anyways. It's so valuable, but definitely if you're not doing every quest in the game, at least get Song of the Elves done. And then you can come here to Prifddinas. It is in the top right of Prifddinas. If I can go to the surface real quick and then just type in for the minimap, Prifddinas. As you can see, if I actually go inside of the town of Prifddinas, it's right up here. The Gauntlet portal's here. We click it. There I am. Yeah, you gotta complete the Gauntlet one time, the regular Gauntlet one time before you unlock the Corrupted Gauntlet. And as you see, I have used menu entry swapper to swap the default behavior for this to be entering the Corrupted Gauntlet. So let's go inside and see what this is all about. When we spawn in, first thing we note is we have a lot of items. Just your entire inventory gets replaced with a few items. These are all irrelevant. We'll talk about them in a second, but you don't need to worry about anything in your inventory. Just start lighting nodes. It's literally called Light Node, the activity that you can do on the edge of these Smash TV looking rooms. When you spawn in here and just light any node that is not this node down here, the barrier to the Corrupted Hunlif. That we're going to deal with that way later. But yeah, for the very beginning of this, just light nodes. We found enemies. I like to prioritize getting my weapon frame as quickly as possible, which is obtained by killing enemies. So if you see enemies at the start, in my opinion, you should just go for it. Go protect melee if you're really about it. So I guess I'd say one additional prayer requirement is, I said your Cox prayers, right? That's 70. So of course you'll have your protection prayers. But either way, protect from melee against most melees if you want to. Rats and bats don't do that much damage to you. You don't have to pray against them if you don't want to. I'm going to immediately rush to tier 2 weaponry. I didn't TP back. This is a little bit more advanced. But we come back, we create a weapon. I created 2 tiers of weapons. So I created the weapon at tier 1, and then I created the weapon at tier 2. Upgraded it to tier 2, rather, because we had 60 shards. And created a vial. And we already fished a little bit, but we have some resource requirements that I'm going to get into in addition to these fish. I'm going to walk back here and drop the fish that we fished. So again, enemies drop shards and weapon frames and occasionally drop fish and grim roots. But these resources, Linum Tyrannum, and then hopefully we find one right here. Yeah. Corrupted deposits, and then also friend bark we will need to find naturally, and we will need to harvest them naturally. The corrupted deposits and friend bark you harvest with these 2 items, which is why when you get done harvesting 3 of those items, in this case we just got done with the ore, we can just drop it. We don't need the pickaxe anymore. That's why I don't want to go too much into these items. They're mostly just resource gathering tools that we'll get rid of later. The scepter is what's used to light the rooms, so we'll eventually get rid of that when we're done lighting rooms. And the pestle and mortar we use for various activities. One of them I'm going to do right now. We're going to grind our shards down for corrupted dust. If you've ever used this in the main game to do herb lore, you kind of know more or less what we just did there. Fish we use for food for the boss fights that are coming, and we will need a bit of fish. So we found a dragon. This is one of the 3 mini bosses that we'll encounter in the Corrupted Gauntlet, and we're basically going to kill every mini boss that we see because we are looking for the dragon and the Corrupted Dark Beast's special weapon, or special secondary equipment that they'll drop that we can use to upgrade our weapons. And if we find the bear, we'll kill that guy because he can help us find an orb or a bowstring, and we'll talk about that if that happens. So we'll get rid of the third weapon frame. We only need 2 weapon frames for the final fight in this dungeon. And one thing I will do is save 1 inventory slot to scout the left side of this, just in case we find the Dark Beast. We did find the Dark Beast. That's pretty fortunate, I'm not going to lie. So we'll go in, and then we're going to review my map real quick, and as I thought, I'm not seeing any friend bark, so we're just getting unlucky on friend bark. That's the only thing that we are missing, but we have 4 minutes to go find it, so we are looking, we're shaping up to be in a pretty good spot, let's put it that way. And this guy even dropped us quite a bit of fish, which is very fortuitous. So we're going to go back to base. We're going to drop the fish. We got the fish over there. We got the fish in our inventory. We're sitting good on fish. But we are still missing friend bark, which is unfortunate. So make another TP crystal, make another vial, and we should upgrade our weapons, because we have both. We are literally just missing friend bark, which is a big sad panda. But that's fine though, because for as difficult as a resource can be to find when you really need it, it is also pretty easy to just light rooms, which is basically the only thing that we're doing. That's going to be our gameplay for the next 3 minutes. If we can't find friend bark and we're just doing that, then that'd be pretty unfortunate. But it's happened to me before, so I'm not going to hold my breath. We're not in the clear yet. Okay, there we go. So we found our friend bark. We should pick up at least 1 more grim leaf. We'll probably need 2 though. So, friend bark, drop the axe, light this node, and then we'll go look for at least 1 more grim root. It's these bad boys, grim leaves. And I'll even, if it's close, I'll look for a fishing spot because I can fill up, yeah, here we go. I can fill up our vials with water. Like this. I'll fish 1 more time while I'm doing this. We have grim leaves up here too. I could just TP back. I probably should. Yeah, let's just TP back immediately. Do this. Go over here. With this many shards, we should have no problems hitting 3, 4, 5 to get the armor. We have weapon tier 3, armor tier 3 for both. So yeah, the only thing we need now are resources. Let's go pick some grim roots. Let's drink our potion. Pick the leaf, and then we'll go pick another leaf, and then do one of these maneuvers. Boom, boom. Go back to base. We don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore. We can just focus on picking up fish and cooking them. We can even ditch the scepter. And then I pulled this guy back, so we'll even kill him for good measure. This is just me training mage here to be super efficient with my account. You know? You know. And then cook our fish. And so now we have 2 basically full prayer pots. We're going to eat a fish here too. And then a full inventory of food. I'll drop the harpoon. I guess we won't have... We'll be missing just a little bit of fish. But that's fine. I like to do just a full inventory of food. It's like nice insurance, if you will. This will be a full inventory -4. You'll see the extra stats that we have will really come into play here. We will have no problem with food if we just play the fight completely correct. So I'm going to start on my bow, walk in, hit him 5 times, and then I'm going to switch to my staff, hit him 1 time, and then switch back to my bow, because every 6 attacks from us, he changes his defensive prayer to whatever style we're attacking him with, and then every 3 attacks from him, he changes his offensive attack style to range to mage, mage to range. He never does melee unless you walk under him. So yeah, that's his mechanics. We're going to walk in, we see him like this, and as you can see, 97 range. I'd rather hit him with my bow. So we'll just go in and do that thing for 5 attacks. Three, 4, and 5. And he's going to switch his attack like that, so then we swap. And a lot of this fight is just making sure your switches are good. It took me quite a while to get to the point where I felt confident about my switches, so don't feel bad if you have to start this fight learning by making things like T2 armor, or just eating a lot during this tornado phase. Don't feel bad about having to eat a lot during this phase. It's probably the best time to eat. Whoops, I'm not praying correctly either. It's like a very quiet fight until this part, where it can get hectic, because he's shutting off your prayers sometimes, you have to run, you're trying to eat, and you want to be efficient. You know, sometimes the pathing gets weird like that. Your prayers get screwed up, but you want to be efficient. And you know that if you're playing super optimally, you can get attack moves in. You can do things like move while you're running away from the tornado and get a few hits in. So, in an effort to play that way, you can definitely trip yourself up. My advice, just remain calm and focus on eating. If you prepared correctly, you'll have more than enough food to eat, so you'll never run out of ticks. Especially if your switches are on points. As you can see, we are about the halfway point for his HP bar, and we have more than half of our food remaining. Half of the food that we brought in here anyways, so we're playing, I guess you could say our performance is pretty good so far by that metric. We're even gonna get some sniper shots in here. Attack. And then this is how you walk over the storms. Just wait until they're about 2 tiles away from you. And then you walk over them. And it is ideal to wait before shoving food into your mouth, in my opinion. We're gonna have to eat here, but yeah, we want to wait until we're basically forced to move, in my opinion. Because when we're moving, we're not really... Like, I'm not really hitting him anyways, right? I'm just moving. So, and I probably ate too much there. But I was kind of just nervous, you know. Find that you can kind of queue up your actions during this section a little bit. I think I'm gonna take some damage there. Oh my god. Well, I guess sometimes that happens too. Jesus Christ. Yeah, okay. All the tornadoes piled on you at once, and you got smacked by an off-prayer attack at the exact same time. It's a confluence of bad things. You can handle one of those things happening, usually. You can handle the tornadoes stepping on you for half a second, but you can't handle that while tanking an off-prayer hit, because tanking an off-prayer hit can be up to 50 damage, and you can't tank 50 damage while also tanking another 50 damage in half a second, which is about how much damage you'll take from the tornadoes. So it's the confluence of those two bad things happening at the same time that kills you, and the only reasons those happen is because you have molasses hands like me, and you're playing slowly. So don't make that mistake. You can see where your character is based off this weird marker that looks like a bug. In these moments where I'm scouting for demi-bosses, I should only be going to the red squares. Okay. We walk in. Make sure we don't get stomped. Move in between our autos. These 4 square, or I guess, these sets of 4 tiles, these 8 tiles in the middle are the most goated tiles for this particular fight, because they're the safest tiles. Fucked up. Hit off prayer there. It's okay. We should be chilling, though. Just walk right over them. Walk right over the balls, man, I'm telling you. Tornadoes. As long as you're walking, that's all the game cares about. This is where the weak perish. They panic. We shall not be that way. We will focus on DPSing the boss down here. We won't be healing or anything like that. I guess we can drink potions, since that's free. We probably won't kill him this cycle. We'll probably have to eat again, or run again from tornadoes. Try to sneak in some attacks here at the end, but I doubt we can do 60, we can do 50. I guess we get one more good hit. Oh, there it is. I stand corrected. That's the thing. You don't focus on the video. You have to, for a brief moment, have to actually focus on just winning the fight. But I guess we got kind of fortunate at the end there. Anyways, GG, there you go. That's how you actually do Corrupted Gauntlet.